It absolutely never fails when I plan to have a full day on the tractor. I got my bottle of water, and I maybe got a protein bar, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna stay on here all day. And then about 15 minutes into it, I look down at the dash, and there's a light blinking and a sound that ain't supposed to be blinking. And there's so many lights down inside there on these newer machines, that I got it saved on my phone, and I go in there and I look up whatever light's flashing, then I look up the little diagram and the codes and tells you what it is. And there's even a way you can figure out what like other codes are going on with a little button down here, and you got to research all that. And then you kind of figure out like it's a sensor, because these newer machines and even these newer vehicles, there's so many daggum sensors, and we kind of figure out what we can get by with and go, you know what, I can just ignore that. It ain't that big of a deal. I'm not going to hurt the machine, and we keep driving. And our vehicles are the same way. But what happens with us humans, right? We all have warning lights. We all got dash lights. And it may be acid reflux. It could be diarrhea. It could be that extra stiff neck. It could be you can't sleep at night. But the body will send you a message. And we tend to ignore it. We just do. And I get it if you're in the middle of the thick, you're in the mission and you're trying to finish the mission. And that doesn't necessarily apply to military and law enforcement. I'm saying it don't make a damn what it is. Everybody's on a mission. And if a guy's out here farming and he's got a lot going on, and man, he's, neck is hurting him. And I mean, it's stress, man. And a buddy of mine said it in the early 90s. He said, stress is going to figure a way to come out somewhere. And then that's the spot that it comes out, and then you can kind of ignore it, but then it kind of stays in there a little bit, and you get the TMJ, right? That you're grinding your teeth at night, and they'll give you a mouthpiece to wear. Why the hell is all that happening? There's something going on. And we just kind of ignore it. Like I ignored this light today. I looked it up and I was like, I'm good. I can go on. Now on these older machines, and I'm going to take you over there, and y'all say, well, this is damn crazy. Well, it might be. But like our 2004 Dodge diesel over here, we've added a device that monitors so much more than they were doing in '04. We've got gauges. A lot of vehicles just have what they call dummy lights. That light comes on and says, stop, you're done. But, some trucks, even the '04's got gauges, oil pressure gauge, temperature gauge, so we can watch that. Well, then we added modern technology to it so we can tell you what the temperature is in the transmission. We want to know how hot that transmission's running. We want to know what the battery's doing, not just is it good or bad. We want to know, is it dragging a little bit? Is it doing good? Is it charging like it should? As humans, that's where education comes in, is understanding what is going on inside our heads helps us have healthy warning lights, and we start to pick up on things, and we realize, it's time. We are all so guilty. I mean, absolutely guilty of, we can see the warning lights and the warning signs, but we push and we push and we push, and then what happens? Crash and burn. I used to have a boss, loved her to death, and she'd push it as hard as she could all the time. And then she'd be calling me on the phone, I'm headed to an AA meeting and I got to go now. She'd just wait till the last minute, and the lights were there, but you're hoping you can get by to the next day. So I'm going to show you the '04. You kind of look at it and go, okay. But the point of the video is that, it really is that we all have warning lights, warning signs to help us go, hey, you know what, it's time. And that's why, Dr. Mitchell and I wrote books. That's why I do the videos, just to kind of get people to clue in a little bit and go, you know what, preventive maintenance for your mind, and I think the good Lord equipped us with a lot, but we get busy, we ignore things, and we've got the diagram saved in our phone, and we go, yeah, I'll be okay, I'll get some head time next week. And then something else happens, and something else happens, and something else happens, and then it gets kind of ugly. Hang on. So we're here inside the 04, 2004 truck. So you got your voltmeter over here. Oil pressure meter over here telling you what the engine oil pressure is. Then down there underneath is the actual temperature in the radiator. So not bad for a 2004 truck. Quite a few things. Now we're going to start it up and show you this gadget right here. Now this thing does a lot more, very specific to the battery. Transmission fluid temperature, which we care a lot about that. Outside air temperature, which is that's not exactly correct. And then it shows you the boost for the turbo. Engine speed. Exhaust gas temperature for our diesel heads, all that matters. So I'm an absolutely firm believer in peer support. I think it's important to have people come in after an incident, any kind of incident, and talk to folks, relate with them, connect with them. But I'm also a huge believer in educating people. It's unfortunate our academies, schools and everything, just plain old schools, that we don't educate people and help them understand what that brain is doing. You know, to me, what we added to the 04 is education. We learned things. We learned that we can hook a device up to tell us more about this truck and how it's performing and keep it going and don't damage it. When you look at peer support, that's what it is. Seriously. It's how do we get somebody back in the game after they got their bell rung. With education, it may prevent a lot of that hardcore bell ringing, because we know a high percentage of the time after Dr. Mitchell and I did the research that most people will never reach out for help. If they do, the research showed it's someone who knows what they do, gets the job that they do, and they're trained. That's who they want to talk to. What I see here with the videos that we're doing, it's really more about trying to catch those people that are never going to call. They're just not. And I get that. And maybe they'll sit and watch a goofy video of some squirrely hairy monkey like me. I'm not really hairy, but I always talk about hairy monkeys. Just doing stuff. And they can relate with that. And it'll catch those people that are slipping through the cracks. The people that most programs will never help, will never work for them just because it's in their DNA, man. They're not going to call. So, that being said, I got to get on that 1999 Gator that has like one warning light, but it's got a warning light. And hope you all enjoyed the video. Hope it helps some of you kind of get it. And it really is, the more you understand about what your brain's doing during any event and how it's processing and storing and how it's trying to work through that. Because the name of the game for the brain and the body, when you look at it from physical therapy to mental therapy, whatever, to me it's two different machines there. It's all about how do we get the human being and the brain back in the game. And when you look at peer support and things like that, it's like, how do we get this person back in the game? How do we get them to where they can actually sleep at night? They can digest their food without, having a bunch of acid reflux. And so for me, I really do truly believe it's education. Education, again, is the key. And I wish that I could add that little device I'm looking at on this 04 to a bunch of human beings so they could really fine tune and see what's going on, and before you develop bad habits and you get into a rut. And then one day you wake up and now it's really hard to get out of that rut. That being said, y'all take care and have a great day.